Hello everybody, this is Andy with Covert Furniture. Covert Furniture has been making furniture with hidden compartments for more than 10 years now. And as we attempt to diversify, I have something to show you that we are really excited about. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to make electronic letters. And these can be used to convey a message during your celebrations. Show you just quickly how they work. So here we have the alphabet of electronic letters. Each one is independent of the other. It's fully self-contained, and you can arrange them in any order. When you insert them in their cradle here, they automatically light up. So these are perfect letters for people who have rental companies that rent items for weddings and other special events. In fact, there's a great earning potential here with these letters, because as you produce them and rent them out, you could probably pay for them within 2 or 3 rentals. Today I'm going to walk you through the process of what it takes to create these. If you're interested in the plans, there will be information down below on how you can contact us. And also, if you're interested in ordering a set, we'd be happy to give you a price quote on these. So without further delay, let me show you how we make these. Our first step is to cut out the backs of the letters, and we make them out of 1/2-inch OSB solar panel. Now, I don't particularly like OSB, but what we do like about this is one side has a foil backing on it, and we want one side to be able to conduct electricity. It'd be nice to have 2 sides, but in this case we have at least one side, so we're cutting channels in which the wire will lay, because we don't want any of the wires to extend past the surface of the board. And we're going to insert the LEDs into holes in these channels and wire them together, and they'll be below the surface. Here the CNC is actually cutting out the holes for the LED. Next, we are cutting out the profiles of each letter. We're letting the CNC do that, and you'll notice that each letter is 1.5 inches longer at the bottom. This is because you want a tab that'll be able to slide between the 2 aluminum angles that hold the letters in place and actually give power to the lights. Here we're separating the letters. Now I actually put tabs between each of the letters because I didn't want them to move as the CNC was cutting them out. You can see as I pull them off, one side has the shiny foil and the other side is just plain. And you'll also notice that we cut these backwards from how you look at it on the CNC, because we want the shiny side to go forward. And here's all the letters cut out and cleared from the board. You can see the foil side is facing forward, and you can see all the holes for the LEDs. Now we're going to cut the foam portion of the letters. In this case I use 1 inch by 4 foot by 8 foot foam Mueller brand, which I got at my local Lowe's or Home Depot. It's about 35 bucks a sheet in my area. But I like this foam over styrofoam because it doesn't have the white balls. It seems to be a little more rigid, and it also has smooth sides, which makes it easy for gluing to other surfaces. Here we're cutting out the exterior profile after having cut the interior profile. Interior profile will be removed because that will be the cavity in which the LED lights will shine. Next, we're going to separate the foam letters. And again, I didn't cut all the way through to the spoil board with my CNC. I left about a 1/16 of an inch or a little bit less there to hold the letters together so that when they were cut they wouldn't shift. That'll mean we'll need to clean them up just a little bit, but they come apart pretty easy. Next we're going to remove the foam interiors of each of the letters. Now the O and the A and the P and the Q and those that have an separate internal part, I didn't take these apart right away because I don't want to lose the centers, because we're going to glue those centers on to our backing board when we start to assemble them. But all the other letters with just a simple cavity, I've taken out the centers. Next, we are going to drill some holes for the resistors. Now, most people think that they can just hook a battery up to an LED, but the truth is LEDs are very sensitive about how much voltage hits their anode and their cathode. So they have what they call a forward voltage. In this case, we're using white clear LEDs, which are 12 volts, but their forward voltage is 3.3 volts. And so they have to be paired with the resistor. And depending on how many LEDs you have, it determines the resistance you need. So if you just have one LED, use a 470 ohm. In this case, two LEDs in series, use a 300 ohm, and three LEDs in series, use 150 ohm. And so what I'm doing is drilling holes right now, on which I'm going to put the resistors. Now, one of the reasons we use the OSB with aluminum on one side is we wanted to conduct electricity. We need to conduct electricity on both sides. We need a positive side and a negative side. In this case, the aluminum foil side is going to be negative, and the other side is going to be positive voltage. So as I put the resistors through the board, one side is going to be tied to the aluminum. And now there's no way you can solder, or if you ever tried to solder wire to aluminum, you just can't do it. But my work around this is I have found copper tape with conducting adhesive. And what you can do is you can put a little piece of this copper tape right on the aluminum, which makes electrical connection, and then the wire can be soldered directly to the copper tape. So that's how we make a connection on the aluminum side. On the other side, we actually have to make all of our connections by hand. In this case, I'm using copper foil. I'm using strips of copper foil to make that connection. And you can see as I put it together, I test it each time I put LEDs in the letter. I test them, whether it's 2 LEDs in series, 3 LEDs in series, or 1 LED in series. I need to make sure that my resistance is right, and then I check it. Next, I'm going to glue the styrofoam to the OSB back panel. Now, what I discovered, most of the glues that are available in the market right now will actually melt the styrofoam, and we discovered that Gorilla Glue does not. It takes a little bit longer for it to set up, but we put Gorilla Glue on one side and then we set it against the backing and apply a little pressure, let it set for a while, and it seems to work really well. Next, we want to paint the sides and the back. Now, you know, if you try to paint styrofoam with any type of aerosol paint, it's going to eat into the styrofoam, and it just is a big mess. What we discovered is Flex Seal, the commercial Flex Seal, does a really good job. It does not eat into the foam the way regular aerosol paint can, and it also acts as a sealant in the back to kind of protect any copper strips and wiring which might be there, as well as provide a good covering for the sides. For the next step, we're going to glue on the coroplast. Now, coroplast, just like the name said, is basically corrugated plastic, and they make all different colors of this. Most of the colors are solid. They have actually a natural, and the natural is translucent, and that's why we like to use this. So once we pre-cut it to the approximate size of the letter, we'll glue the coroplast to the foam, again using Gorilla Glue. You can buy coroplast in 4x8 sheets, and it's about 1/4 inch to 3/16 inch thick. Once the coroplast is glued and dried, then you can route the coroplast edges to conform to the outline of the letters. We use this using an edge cutting router. To finish up our letters, we want to install the back spring. The back spring ensures that there is good contact between the front and the back of the letters to the energizing cradle that it goes in. These buttons are normally used within telescoping rods, but we use them. We drill a hole, put the button in there, hold it with some glue, and then we reinforce it with solder on either side to ensure that there's a good electrical connection. And so when these letters are placed in the cradle, that back spring connects with the back aluminum side of the cradle and also ensures that the front makes a good connection. Finally, to power it all, we have created what we call a cradle. This is made out of aluminum angle. The tallest portion is 1.5 inches, and the front of the cradle is the negative, and the back of the cradle is the positive. So we hook the power supply up to each side of that, so that when you slide the letters into the cradle, the power goes into the letters, and again the spring holds those upright and ensures that there's a good connection. So we hope you enjoyed that video. If you're interested in the plans for making your own LED letters, or you would like us to perhaps make some for you, information will be contained below this video. Again, we're Covert Furniture. We've been around for more than 10 years. Our primary business is making furniture with hidden compartments to hide guns, valuables, anything else that you might want to keep away from those you love and those you don't love. Thank you for watching.